And distinguished ladies and gentlemen, just like the people speaking before me, it is quite great to have you today on this occasion of the training for the strategic headquarters in preparations of the AMANI Africa II, which we have been hoping to see will take place in March, April next year. This actually the training, you know what importance this takes, or it takes its place in terms of what we're doing. And we do know that in any organization, especially the ones that has to do with the uniform for that matter, if an army or the military is not fighting, all that it is doing is training. Even when it is actually fighting, it still has to get time to train. That is why actually we are here to get on with the strategic headquarters training. This aspect of training is really very important because this is where the direction for peace support operations is actually taking place. And if anything goes wrong there, you know that many other things can actually go wrong. And you also would be aware that countries are going to place their peacekeepers under their own direction, really. And if that must be done properly, and they must gain the confidence of African countries who are going to put all these peacekeepers before you, then you will know that definitely we will need to be up and doing, especially in the directions and the sustenance that we are to give to peacekeepers when we actually deploy them. And that's the very reason why we are actually here. I would want to say that at the level of the African Union, quite a lot is going on in terms of the peace and security architecture. It's not only the African Standby Force that is on, actually all other aspects are already operational, like the panel of the wise. We have the early warning also that is to a large extent that is also operational, and they are trying to actually get things together. And then for the African Standby Force, of course, we are expecting that by next year we should have also been ready to go. And really, we don't have any flexibility for that. So we must work towards achieving that by next year. I would want to say that we've had quite, at the level of the African Union, a lot that has been going on in terms of the African Standby Force itself. Not quite long, it was reviewed by quite an expert team that was assembled at the level of the African Union, and I've gone through the African Standby Force. They came up with the fact that, well, actually it was on track, or it is on track really. The only thing is that we need to push further and see exactly how we can get it through. We also have had the opportunity to have the training needs assessment made, and I'm sure there are some of you here who participated in that. I'm sure Dr. Linda Tankwa was actually part of that very team, and that is what we have actually been using also in the training that you will actually be doing. I also want to flag that at the level of the African Union Commission itself, the APSA itself is undergoing a second review. Actually, the first review was done quite some years back, and I'm sure Dr. Sajos was one of actually the people that did that. So that is ongoing. We expect that in a few months from now, that will be completed. And if that is completed, definitely we'll know exactly where we are. And that will also help the partners that have also been supporting us to continue with the support therefrom. So I would also want to say, even at the level of the PSOD, quite a lot of improvement has been made in terms of the planning team. They have been reinforced, even though these numbers are still far below what is actually required. But as you can see, quite a lot of of activities have been going on in terms of the deployment of forces, actually, or peace missions. We've had Somalia, we had Mali, we've had CAR, and you would see that at least these people that have actually put this in place. And in this, definitely I cannot fail to mention our partners that have supported us in this vein, and in particular the European Union that has had a comprehensive strategy, which we normally call the Lisbon Strategy of 2007, which really they have been using to support us. And that is why they're giving quite a great support in terms of the training that we're doing, not even only at the level of the African Standby Force, but in other fields. So this really is what we have to be sure again. So as we're here, you would be able to see exactly how you are going to deploy troops, to deploy a mission, and be able to not only deploy the mission, be able to sustain it and see how it runs. It is going to be a little bit more demanding this time because we are involving the rapid deployment capability, and this is for the first time that we are going to deploy this capability. It's a capability that's still under development, but I'm sure by the time we deploy, we'll be able to see exactly where we're going to. I will also want to flag that the RECs are actually working extremely very hard, and most of them are actually, by the end of this year, will be able to get their rapid deployment capabilities actually up and running. Some good news that I will say that is not all that negative. It is quite some good news. So I just want to say that we're going to work extremely very hard these 2 weeks because we'll be able to see exactly how we can deploy a rapid deployment capability. I didn't want to go through the conflict trends in the continent. I'm sure everybody already knows that very clearly. But from the number of peace support operations that are ongoing, I think that speaks for itself clearly. That gives us really the status of conflict in Africa. So I'm sure I wouldn't need to add more to that, because we are talking about total number of troops that are involved in deployment. I'm not sure we have less than 50 or 60,000 that are in the continent. So the continent is definitely home to peace support operations, and I think we should be working towards seeing how this can actually be reduced. So I will just want to leave it there, because the idea is for us actually to work, and that will actually be quite great as we get on with the work. But once more, I'd like to really thank the partners, because in the first place, no one country, no region that can go it alone now is just impossible. You must have other regions that must work together in terms of keeping the peace and stability in a region, or actually in any country. So it is quite right that we have to have partners like you supporting us, if not even for anything, at least giving it legitimacy is quite really very important. So without any further waste of time, I'd like to thank all of you here that are here, and I hand you over to Sam who is doing quite a very good job, and Garibatu. Thank you.